America, this is an important election. I'm sure you all understand that this is an election unlike any that we've seen before. From the time of World War II to the toppling of the Soviet Union to the current economic situation that we face today, America has not been in graver times. Now is no time to make a decision purely based on the color of your skin. Now is the time to make a decision about who is actually best for America. I unashamedly say that I will support Senator John McCain and Governor Sarah Palin for presidency and vice presidency of the United States of America, but I do so not because I want to be rebellious against my own culture, against my own race. Rather, I do so because I have faith and confidence that the only way we're really going to bring about change in government is by putting people in office in positions of power and authority that have proven themselves to be strong advocates for change. Senator Barack Obama is perhaps one of the most eloquent speakers I've ever heard in my life. I can easily say that and say that without any sort of regret. He is amazing. However, that is not the change we need. We don't need a change of race in office. We don't need a change of a party in office. What we need is a change in mindset. We need a value and principle change. And that change can only be offered by the Republican ticket, Senator John McCain and Governor Sarah Palin. But when I say this to you, and when I appeal for you to make a decision, a strong, courageous decision to support John McCain and Sarah Palin, I don't do so just based on personal opinion, but I look at the facts, the reality of all that's going on in our world, and when I make my decision, I'd hope you see it the same way. Looking first at foreign policy, I understand that the economy is a significant portion of our everyday lives, one of those kitchen table issues, but looking first to our foreign policy, this is where you see the starkest difference between John McCain and Senator Barack Obama. Senator Barack Obama has advocated a 16-month withdrawal of our troops from all military positions, reallocation potentially to Afghanistan to fight that war. But he wants us out of Iraq in 16 months. Now, while you'll hear that President Bush and Maliki have advocated something of the same, that's just not the reality. Because what we don't hear enough of is the fact that Senator Barack Obama said, and you can look at the fact check, he stated in one of his speeches that if Iraq descends into chaos, like it is predicted it will if we have a precipitous withdrawal, Barack Obama says that he would re enter the country. I am not an advocate for this war in Iraq. I think it has put America in a very dangerous position. But now that we're there, it's a debate that historians can have about whether or not we ought to be there. But what we do have the power to influence is whether or not we're going to leave for good or leave for a momentary postponement of the conflict. When we leave Iraq, whether it's 2011 or 2013, I want that to be the last time we enter Iraq. The last time that we're there fighting in a counterterrorism sort of restructuring and rebuilding of the country. I want that to be the last time. Senator Barack Obama doesn't make that promise. He says, get out, let's look and wait, and then act from there. It's not good enough for me. From Pakistan, Barack Obama says the exact same thing that George Bush has said. I'm no advocate for George W. Bush or Dick Cheney or Donald Rumsfeld. I could care less about either one of them. However, when Senator Barack Obama looks the American people in the face and says that with actionable intelligence, he would go into Pakistan to find somebody and exterminate that individual, that's what George Bush said. He said that about Saddam Hussein. We had actionable intelligence about WMDs that we now know were not there. We went into the country and look at the predicament we're in now. If anybody's championing the same old Bush policies, it's Senator Barack Obama. But let's look on at Iran. Iran is a very critical issue. They're on the verge of developing nuclear weapons, whether you believe that it's going to be within the next few years or the next few decades. or the next few months, they are on their way to developing nuclear power and nuclear weapons. Barack Obama says that he would legitimize the movements and the actions by the Iranian government by sitting down face to face at presidential levels in speaking to Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, or the actual president of Iran. We cannot legitimize the movements by this government. They are corrupt. They are dangerous to American interests. They have threatened one of the critical issues, or the critical allies rather, within the Middle East, Israel. We cannot allow for that to be legitimized and for the world to see that as a legitimate manner to get the United States to cooperate. We want to be cooperative. We do not like being isolationist, because we know that that hasn't worked in the past. But we know the best way to encourage cooperation is not to put the United States in a position to where we can just come and sit down and have these talks. Rather, the manner to do it is to encourage some sort of preconditions and establishment for how we're going to come over to cooperate. But let's look at another issue. Let's look at the economy. The fact is that John McCain, in his statement, that the fundamentals of our economy are strong. Let me first acknowledge that that statement was about the American workforce. If you look at the entire clip, instead of looking at the sound bites that have dominated this campaign, the campaign by the Obama campaign as well as the McCain campaign, when you look at the actuality of what they were saying, it's completely false from what the other party or what the other ticket is saying about it. And I say McCain has done wrong and Obama has done wrong. When he said the fundamentals of the economy are strong, he was talking about the workforce, which is as strong as it's ever been. It's extremely productive in times where it's hard to be productive. People come to work when they know that their kids are going to schools that aren't doing as well as they need to, when they don't have the adequate health care that they need to fight their diseases, when they don't have the money in their pocket and they know that the checks that they're going to get within the next 2 weeks are going to be insufficient to take care of their homes. But they're still going to work and they're still fighting for a productive America, and that says something about the fundamentals of our economy. Also, in regards to John McCain not knowing anything about the economy, what John McCain said was not that he did not know anything about the economy. Rather, he said he knows more about war, conflict, things of that affect the military than he does about the economy. And that's true for many different individuals. We all know something more than we know the other thing. And what I mean is that Senator Barack Obama, for example, knows more about constitutional law than he does about the economy himself. That's a fair assessment to make. You know more about one thing than you do about the other. That's fine. That's how humans work. So to use that argument to say he doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to the economy is wrong, because he stood before the banking committee and he told Senator Chris Dodd that Fannie Mae needs to be checked because they are growing out of hand. They control half of the housing mortgages within this country, half of a $12 trillion industry. So to say that John McCain doesn't know anything about the economy is purely fallacious. But let's move on to energy. There's only one real energy plan. There's only one real energy policy that's out there, and that's John McCain's. While Barack Obama is throwing out a whole bunch of different technologies and innovations, such as we want geothermal and biodiesel made from algae and things like that. That's fine and dandy. But John McCain is the only one who says this is how we're going to do it. We're going to develop 45 new nuclear plants. We're going to start using wind to transition and start powering our homes so that natural gas can be freed up to fill our cars. That's the only real policy that we've seen. That's how we base our vote in this campaign. Change. Change. That's what this election is all about. Who is going to bring about change? Senator Barack Obama is more of the same. I'm sad to say that. I would love for there to be an African American to appeal to the issues that African Americans feel are essential. But Senator Barack Obama is a skilled politician. He's fooled half of America into believing he's about change, when in actuality he's scared to take strong positions on controversial issues, and he votes present more than 100 times. This election is about change. But look inside yourself and ask yourself for real, who's going to bring that change? Who has a plan for change? How do we get change? Think. Demetrius.